Welcome once again to Hunter's Entertainment on Twitch.tv. My name is Noxweiler Burf, and I am your game master and guide through the dark and challenging world of survival horror. Tonight, as we do every Tuesday evening, we're playing Outbreak Undead. Now, if you're not familiar, this game is not for the faint of heart, and I, as the game master, have confirmed consent with each and every one of my players. Our lines and veils have been firmly drawn, and we have safety protocols in place to assist and protect everyone at the table tonight. This game is full of opportunity to explore dark subject matter, but we wish to do so very carefully. We ask you for your consent too, and we encourage you to read the content warnings very closely. This game offers us all these wonderful opportunities to explore dark themes and to shine a light on the human condition in the safe confines of our imagination, but it takes the bravery and support of each and every one of us, and that includes you as well. You are our audience, our viewers, and we wish to take care of you. We wish for you to walk alongside us on this dark road. It does have its rewards, but it also has its dangers. Not every character that is being played here tonight has the same objectives. Their motivations are wildly different. Some of them are working directly against one another. Some are in communication with dangerous outside forces. It's hard to tell who the hero and the villain is in this story. That's how we like it. We wish to explore specifically these different points of view and how they all come together and converge upon one important focus: survival. Survival in a world that doesn't want anyone to survive. You see, within our world, there are no magical swords to be discovered. There are no valiant knights or castle walls to hide behind. The dangers that these characters will interact with are far worse than dragons or magic. They wear the face of a familiar world that died so long ago. Each of these characters are suffering through the echo of a dying, gasping world, a civilization that is quite familiar, but wholly alien now. And in that greatest of darknesses, we hope to prove that hope does burn brighter. I would like to thank both JB Jara and Alex Hillman and the entire Hunters team for helping to make this campaign happen. Without their steadfast support, we quite simply wouldn't be here tonight. We're very grateful. If this is your first time with us, we encourage you to sign up for the Scry program in our panels below. There, you can engage with the communities of the apocalypse quite directly. You can take on the role of a survivor yourself. You can help to divert the necessary resources and goods to the places where you think they are most needed. Your choices are going to mean the difference between life and death tonight. They are linked to the various settlements of the Rag and Bone universe. And if you think that you've seen it all, I'm excited to tell you, this is just beginning. The world is changing. Our offerings to you through the Scry program are changing as well. We've seen so many varied facets of what these characters are capable of. Some of them have come from familiar communities, but some communities are still entirely unknown to us. If you have any questions, our tireless undead moderators are in the chat, and they're prepared to help you. They can support you in your efforts to become involved in surviving our very special apocalypse. As always, if you're enjoying the content that we're creating here at Hunters Entertainment, we encourage you to continue to make noise for us on social media. Help us to grow and bring more survivors into the fold. Join in on our Discord and connect with others who you feel might enjoy this particular brand of dark ride. Simply put, we are hoping that we might meet new friends in the darkness. Enough of all of that, however. Allow me to introduce you now to our players in tonight's little nightmare. Michelle, welcome back. Would you like to talk a little bit about all of the wonderful things that you're doing across the internet, what character you're playing, and just a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Hi, I'm Michelle Wynn Bradley, and you can find me on the internet at I am Joey Bunny on Instagram and Twitter. You can also find me every Wednesday over on Paizo's official channel, playing Starfinder. I'm a big bug that loves murder. And you can also find me over on YouTube on the Total Nerd channel. I do videos about things like Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat and vintage games that are very fun. And today I'm playing Faith again, and some like rough stuff happened last week, and we are all I as a player, I'm curious to see how Faith is going to decide how to move on with the as with this group, and that's going to be very interesting. I'd also like to shout the chat for saying that I should try to convert my 2,800 scribe points into snacks somehow, but I don't think I'm allowed to do that. So thanks, guys. Thanks for the thought.
I'm very excited to see how this all resolves. You're quite right. There were some tense moments between the characters. Much has yet to be resolved before they can move forward. But that's very much how it is here in the time after the fall. Markia, welcome back. Would you like to talk a little bit about who you are, what you do across the internet, and a little bit about the character that you will be playing tonight?
Sure. I'm Markia McCarty. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Markia McCarty. Twitch is Darth Markia? Yes, it is. Facebook is Markia TV. And yeah, Mondays, we just had our finale for our Kids on Bike campaign. We have 2 more episodes left for this season, kind of like a mini adventure / epilogue. But don't let that dissuade you to go ahead and jump in with our Kids from Techburg. That's Mondays, 8 a.m. PT for like the next 2 Mondays. And then we'll see about season 2, depends on how that goes. And then also, this is the finale week for a dual campaign that I am GMing for Level Up Dice, and then also here at Hunters Entertainment. That is Thursday and Friday of this week, 1 p.m. PT each day. Thursday is on Level Up Dice's Twitch channel, and Friday is with us here. And it is Altered Carbon Birmingham Uprising. Literally, it's 2 different sides of the same revolution, the dual campaign happening, and our different casts have made very interesting choices, and we'll have to make very final mortal choices that'll be happening with this finale. And I don't think either the cast realize that not all of them are going to make it.
You're speaking my language. Please, if you haven't already, you can check the VODs on Hunters Entertainment and also on our YouTube to catch up with all of that. Melee, would you like to talk a little bit about yourself, about what you're doing across the internet, and about the character that you'll be portraying tonight?
Yes, hi there. I am Melee Damage. I'm excited to be back again this week. I missed a little bit last week, but heard it was very eventful. You can find me across the internet doing a lot of music stuff recently. I have a new single out called Mothership. You should check it out. Video is almost finished, and there's a couple of other projects that I have going on to do with TV and film that I'll be able to talk about a little bit more soon. That's really cool stuff that's coming out. I play Rowan tonight, who is, I believe, a lieutenant of the Citadel, and she is pretty put off, I believe, by the shepherds, but trying to find a common ground to meet up with them and figure some things out after a lot of fire, a lot of guns, and yeah, excited to see where this goes.
There was a lot of fire, and there were a lot of guns. The situation's not quite yet resolved, so we'll see how that ends up happening. Luis, would you like to talk a little bit about the character that you'll be playing, about yourself, and about what you do across the internet?
Yeah. Hey, everybody. I'm Luis Carrazzo. You can find me on all the social medias by just putting my name out there, and you'll find me. I'm an actor. I do some TV and film, and on occasion I remember to pitch this, but there's a short film that I have that's been making the festival circuit called Of Hearts and Castles. You can actually look up the trailer for it, and it's just been getting into more and more festivals. And some pretty good ones too. So we just got word that we got into a good one that we can't announce just yet, but if you follow me on social media, I'll be putting some of that out there. On occasion, you'll see me in like some commercials dressed as a knight on a horseback in a Ruffles commercial, or other things. I'm playing Lampwick. Lampwick is Lampwick used to be a kind of a manipulator. He survived pre-apocalypse by finding the weak spots psychologically and emotionally and exploiting it in other people to his benefit. Continued to do that post-apocalypse, but has since been traveling with a consistent group of people, and it sure seems like it's the world against us. And I think that has changed a lot of how he is operating. He's convinced the good people are all gone. The people that are left are all like how he used to be, which I think is changing how he operates as well. Is currently with the shepherds, who seem to be able to have a handle on the undead. Maybe they control them, maybe they are friends with them. I don't know, but it's not totally clear, and he's in it to figure it out.
Indeed. We'll see how that resolves itself as we move forward. Last but not least, we have a guest with us. Once again, Alquin, you've returned to us to play Kusanagi. Would you like to talk about what you do, what you're doing across the internet, and a little bit more about Kusanagi?
Sure. I'm Alquin Gersh. I am a tabletop RPG streamer and developer. You can find me working for a lot of companies and a lot of projects. Like I'm doing an Outbreak Undead supplement for Hunters Entertainment. As far as shows I'm on right now, there's one that's on Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. on twitch.tv/Gilding Light to promote Satine Phoenix's Bard Book Kickstarter. So there's a series of games called the Battle of the Bards, and I'm playing in one called The Mystery of Melody, DM'd by Margaret Crone. It's a very interesting game and some very fun players in that. Some other people you'll probably recognize and like. I am playing Kusanagi once again, who is someone who is old enough that he remembers the time before the fall, even if he was just a young teenager at the time. And he is a rag and bone tape trader, someone who deals in VHS, and someone who trades in the knowledge and mythology of the old world. I managed through Rowan to make my way to the Citadel, where I have been kind of doing a lot of technical stuff for them in exchange for their protection. But I'm starting to feel less like a guest and more like a prisoner. And I think Kusanagi sees the other folks in the group as an opportunity to maybe get back out on the road and accomplish some of the goals that he is seeking, both for himself and for what he thinks is the good of the world and its future. But it won't be easy, I think, since it's the kind of double-edged sword that he's made himself very valuable to the folks at the Citadel, but now they're kind of reluctant to give him his freedom.
We're very thankful that you're here. Hopefully you yourself don't feel like a prisoner, but like a guest.
I do, thank you.
Before we move forward, Markia, would you like to talk about Achira? I feel that there are some things that we should say about her before we get started.
Yes, and next week I will do my best to actually remember to talk about my character when I'm introducing myself. So yes, Achira is the Citadel. She was there before when she was younger and new to the apocalypse. she did not have great experiences there, and there's a number of things combined with that. When we left her, she was trapped within the same room that she, when she was younger, had to get initiated into the Citadel back when. So there is some trauma that's involved with that. She now has a bomb collar strapped around her neck as well. And yeah, there's a lot going on with the history that Achira has in this place, and I'm sure that she will try to escape at her first earliest convenience.
That would make perfect sense. However, it hasn't yet to happen, so we will need to resolve that as we move forward. Thank you again for being with us. We'll be right back. The world ended on Monday, May 29th, 1995. The sky fell, and the dead would not die. Civilization quickly collapsed, and the sickness spread like lightning to even the most remote reaches of the world. They called it many things, but it started out simply as another round of the summer flu. It became something far, far worse. H195, commonly called the Legacy or the Reaper's Kiss. It was deadly. And as the dead fell, they seemed to become even more infectious after they passed away. At first, it seemed as if no one was immune to the airborne strain. The weight of civilization toppled in on itself. Eventually, it appeared that 0.01% of the population had a natural immunity. However, even those lucky souls couldn't withstand a concentrated introduction of the virus, be it through a bite or a deep scratch or blood-on-blood contact from one of the infected. This became far, far worse when those that had died raised from the grave. Like vicious monsters, hungry animals, they hunted after the living. Chaos reigned. The military could not contain them. It was a tidal wave. The numbers were far too great. Wherever people gathered, death and chaos was all that could be found. The end of days were like wildfire, and throughout the world, a handful of people sought security, sanctuary, but there was none to be had. Even retreating into the wilds was useless. Entire cities burned, but miraculously, somehow, some, very few, survived. And for the next 25 years, life struggled forward. 25 years. Scratching and clawing out of the darkness. The world is still a fractured place. But there are those who seek to make civilization anew. Hope has not entirely been lost. There are those who travel between the small settlements and scattered outposts, seeking to bring goods and services to those who need them most. You see, in this world, the world post-fall, something as simple as clean water, basic food, medical attention, knowledge, everything that we take for granted. Those things can be the difference between life and death. And they're not easy to come by. The rag and bone, merchants who travel throughout this world, they are a lifeline in a world that now belongs entirely to the dead. The fires within the military complex have been extinguished. Smoke, acrid, horrid, hangs heavily in the air. All of you are sickened by the smell of it. Gas, biodiesel, has been burning now for hours. Whoever had sabotaged this outpost, the stronghold, they knew where to hit. They had intel, information that clearly led them to the Achilles heel of this fairly well-defended location. The group known as the Citadel is not beloved by all. They can be harsh. Some of their members are difficult, but they know how to survive. And they've helped many of the surviving small communities within the area survive as well. At a price, of course. But what in this world is too much to pay for another day? Is there a price that is too high to allow those who you have gathered with, your found family, to continue forward, to contribute to this world, and to hope that maybe humanity won't burn out like a match? And in the acrid air of the Citadel, the buildings here are backlit. Some of the generators have gone off. There are dark patches, areas where perhaps further sabotage is occurring. Or perhaps there are simple maintenance issues that haven't been dealt with. There were quite a few distractions over the past few hours. The prison block, known as the Brig, little more than a warehouse that had been converted into a holding pen, was under attack. Individuals died. Most of the prisoners that the Citadel were holding on to are now lying in bloody pools on the concrete floor of that place. However, some survived. Achira is one of those, along with Lampwick, who was sent as an ambassador, not a prisoner. Juniper Song, however, did not make it. She was shot by Rowan, one of the lieutenants of this place, a well-respected leader who has been here for many, many years. Former military. This world fits Rowan like a glove. She's suffered great wounds at the hands of some of these other survivors. She's made choices. And now, the choices of all who are gathered here are very, very slowly coming to a boil. Faith is a young child who had grown up here. She's in her 20s now, but all that she's ever known are these walls, this system, this community, how to survive. Everything that people see as harsh about this community, it's what's kept you alive, Faith. You understand that. You lost a lot of family very early on. You don't remember it, but your brother Omar tells you often. It's easy to be betrayed. It's easy to find yourself in an unwinnable situation. Being prepared is the only thing that you can do. Kusanagi may very well be one of the most trained, intelligent electricians left in the Midwestern United States, if not the entire world. Population numbers are laughably unknown. But certainly no one within the Citadel has ever found anyone else who's capable of doing the things that Kusanagi can do. An electrical engineer that can bring life back to some of the technology of 1995, giving anyone able to tap into those resources a survival line, an edge that can be sharpened, honed, and used against your enemies. There are benefits that have been made, deals that have been brokered. But things here for Kusanagi haven't been perfect. You would be remiss if you even called it a gilded cage. They have treated you well, they have fed you well, they have given you your own workshop and equipment, but it is clear that you're not as free as you would like to be. So you've made choices. You're making moves. Lampwick isn't anything other than a man capable of finding a way out of any negative situation that he might find himself in, usually through the use of his silver tongue. Intelligent, a former con artist, now perhaps saved, having found religion and the shepherds. Perhaps Lampwick is truly ready to atone for who he was. Or perhaps he's just looking for an advantage. In the center of the courtyard, the smoke fills the air. The lights flicker on and off. Faith, you, and Achira are inside the small room. Tables and chairs are covered in dust. A shattered picture sits in the hallway. Captain Hurst, the founder of the Citadel, lies on the floor, amid the broken glass. You were as patient as you could be. You gave Kusanagi the time that he requested, and now the three of you are facing one another in this room. Kusanagi has just snapped the collar around Achira's neck. What would you like to do?
I roll my eyes. So that's so hard. Just all this jibber jabbering in here. All right, let's call it in. We did what we need to do, right? Kusanagi, this is it? This is the only thing we came here to do?
Yeah. I mean, I have to get this detonator to Riggs.
Okay, sounds good. All right, I called the two other guards who were, I think they're in the room now, just to kind of motion them forward out of the room so we can start to leave. And I want to radio Riggs to let him know we're done. Oh, wait, I tried that already.
There is only static.
Right.
The radio continues to pop and hiss.
All right, if we're done here, let's... Okay, that's like probably not good. All right, let's...
Yeah, and if that's out, people are supposed to switch to sub-channels.
Yep, I knew that. Yeah, I try a sub-channel.
And, okay, well, if they're not using those, then that means there's a bigger problem.
You switch to the sub-channel.
2, 1, 5, 5, 2, 1, 5, 5, 2, 1, 5, 5.
I don't know if that's a code that's on repeat, or if someone else is trying to... I don't know if that's us or someone else.
Is this the first time that Faith has heard that
You've
number
never
repeated?
encountered that before. The Citadel is very rigid, but you know every protocol. This is not one of them. No one else should be on that channel. You don't recognize the voice.
Yeah, I don't think that's a good sign either. Let's call it a day in here. Let's get out of here and try to figure out where everybody else is.
The two Citadel guards that are standing behind you, Faith, step back, allowing you to take command of the situation. You do technically outrank them. They're young, but they're well trained. What do the rest of you do?
I mean, I think we have to follow along.
Yeah, it's just following along out of the room at this point.
They give you space, Achira. They don't press themselves forward, but you can see that they're watching over you. The collar in place, they seem to feel that you're less of a threat.
I'm going to try to stay close to Achira so I can talk to her while we're moving.
The two of you are able to walk together. No one stops you. Faith, where do you go?
If the other two guards are leading in the front, I'll just be sort of like lingering towards the back. I'll leave space between Achira and Kusanagi, but enough space that like I could see if they're gonna try to, I don't know, do something.
Yeah, you're keeping an eye on them. I will not even make you make a spot listen because they're in front of you. They're not trying to evade you. You're keeping a sharp eye on them. All three of you, with the two guards, make your way out of this barracks. You step forth from the squat building out into the night air, and the smoke again fills it, and it kind of fills your lungs, the acridness of it. It has been dying down, but it is a very stark reminder of the chaos that had just occurred. However, now with the radios acting strangely and the generators blinking on and off, you can't help but think that perhaps something else is happening.
So, Achira, if we can't get in touch with Riggs, the protocol for this place is going to fall to Rowan. I know that there's stuff that went on between you two. Is there anything I should know or any way I can help?
I have less things with Rowan, even after her and Juniper, than I do with Riggs. I'd actually prefer for the detonator to be in her hand.
You might get your wish. I mean, honestly, I don't know either of them that well.
You don't want to.
And I would say, I guess I like Rowan better, but I don't necessarily know. To me, she's more predictable. Sorry, she's less predictable. Riggs is, I've known people like Riggs. Riggs is like the character from one of the movies I watched, but Rowan's something different.
I know Riggs very well. Rowan, I know less well. But with my history with Riggs, I would rather a rabid crocodile have the detonator than Riggs.
I think I'd rather spend time with a rabid crocodile as well, but what are we going to say, like, to get out of here? I mean, I know that I've tried to put forth to him that, like, we need to go on a mission. What's something we can accomplish? What is something that they would want us to do?
There's a couple of things that, from what I remember and what I've heard with the Citadel, that we could try. One, they love knowledge. For instance, wherever Blockbuster's hidey hole was, they'd be interested in that, very much so.
I've been trying to pressure them to at least have a team sent out on my behalf, with radio contact. But I feel like they've got a lot of other things that they think are higher priority, or maybe they want somebody else besides me doing it, but they have not been forthright about that. I mean, if that's something they want to do, I am all for it. Like, I wanted that even before the Citadel got involved.
If they don't think that knowledge was a high priority, then that means that they're more than likely in that phase where they just want to destroy something, like maybe Ender's Line, or maybe there's something else out there that is a higher priority with them. It's interesting that the shepherds are here. I don't remember them ever doing ambassadors much. So that would be something very interesting. In fact, I think maybe finding out what they'd want with the shepherds might be a really good move forward. I think everybody has a bit of interest with them.
You traveled with Lampwick for a while, right? So would you say that you know him?
Yes. It's surprising to me to see him now with the shepherds.
Okay, so yeah, that answers my question.
I'm pretty sure that I know him well, so I didn't really get a chance to talk to him about this or other things. But it's surprising, very.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I hope it's, from what I've seen of Lampwick so far, I hope that he is behaving in a way consistent with what I've observed, and that he's doing this for his own goals, and that he hasn't bought into all of this. But some of the things he said to me, I feel like he might be a believer.
Oh, that's not good. I mean, one of the nicknames that Ari and I had for him was Bullshit Jesus. It's no good if he believes other people's bullshit beside his own.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna have to hand this over to somebody, and I'm looking at the detonator in my hand, and it's gonna be Rowan or Riggs, and I'm gonna explain to them how to use it, but we really need to be on our P's and Q's, because anything that anything that remotely seems out of line from what they are going to want, and they're going to blow your head off.
I would give it to Rowan out of the two of them. Riggs would do it for shits and giggles. Rowan, if when she would do it, it would at least make some kind of logical sense in her head.
All right. Well, either way, I'm sorry I put you in this situation. I wish it could have been another way. But honestly, I didn't see any other way of you getting out of there.
You've done what you could, and I really, really appreciate that you tried to find another way out for me for this. I didn't expect that at all. And then, plus, think of it this way. I doubt any of them would want to get very close to me right now.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
That's a plus.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when we met before, and from what I've seen of your interactions with some of the other folks here, I mean, I know you were here before, and I know that there's stuff that you've done in the past. I'm not sure what, and it's not really my business. And I want you to know that I'm interested in learning from you, because I worry less about what I've already done than what I might be capable of doing if the situation demanded it. So talking to someone who has had the experiences that you've had and has had to make choices that I know were difficult, that's the kind of wisdom I'm looking for.
What kind of wisdom is that? Walking across the yard, you see a small contingent of soldiers from within the citadel. They have their automatic rifles slung over their shoulders or at their sides. 10 individuals covered in armor and the dark markings of the citadel. They have helmets and face shields, riot gear. They're covered in sweat, oil, and grime. You can tell that they've had a night. Riggs, however, steps towards the group, smiling broadly with a shit-eating grin as he chomps on a cigar of his own making.
The wisdom that only assholes survive the apocalypse.
Darling, you always say that I don't buy you fucking jewelry. You're looking great.
You shouldn't have, Riggs. Really, you shouldn't have.
Anything for my little honey bunny.
Don't call me that.
Keep it up and I'll get you a pair of matching bracelets. Another unit walks across the separate side of the street, 5 strong. Rowan, 5 of her elite soldiers behind her. Rowan, there's been other fuckery. You've done everything you can. You've got an ace in the hole. You gave her a beer and you had your men take her to a safe location and lock her away. Turns out that a member of the remains of what was once the Grey Ridge community have infiltrated this place, caused no small amount of damage. You thought you'd put it all to bed, but now the radios are going haywire. There's something happening. You were hoping to actually find Kusanagi to get some answers. There's something else, though, Rowan. You've always carried, like all the lieutenants, a small black box. It has limited range, but within the Citadel, when that little red light starts to blink, you know it means that Command wants to speak with you. You dread that red light. If anything scares you, and very little does in this world, that blinking light, for one, of the lieutenants means that shit has hit the fan. As you look over and you see Riggs smiling broadly, you see a bead of sweat across his forehead. On his bandolier, you see the blinking red light. Your light is blinking red as well. You enter into the scene, Rowan.
What the hell is going on here? All right, Achira, that is not a good look for you. Oh, Riggs. And I just kind of like make awkward face motions at him for a quick second.
Yo, I got it. Yeah, I'm aware. I know you're aware too. We got things to do.
Yeah. Kusanagi, any word on why my radio's doing this?
I was gonna ask if any of the other lieutenants. It's the signal's supposed to be hard coded. It's got a band switcher. People shouldn't be able to interfere with it unless it's somebody here, someone with access, who's doing something.
And that's literally the only way.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing, this caller I made is reliant on a wireless signal too. Until we find out what this is, we can't set out on the road.
Now, is this radio interference gonna cause Honey Bunny's head to pop like a melon?
I mean, the caller is armed and it can't be taken off at this point, but I have to initialize it for this detonator to work.
Because that would be a damn shame. I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't be entertained, but it would be a damn shame.
No, the whole point of this is a deterrent. I'm sure Achira isn't going to do anything that would get her head blown off.
Unless you want to come over here for a hug, Pumpkin, and find out.
No, I'll hold off. I remember the last time you tried to give me a hug. I still got the scar.
I mean, do you want me to hold on to the detonator until I can initialize it? Or Rowan, Riggs, one
Look,
of you?
Egghead, I want you to do whatever's gonna keep an explosion from happening in the middle of our fucking base on the worst fucking night that we've had in over a year. How about that?
Yeah, I understand that.
His cool has completely slipped, and you all, like, the jovialness was about an inch deep, and now it's gone. I'll tell you what, Rowan, I'm gonna go check in with Command. Why don't you keep a sharp eye here, and I'll report back once I get the full debriefing.
That sounds good to me, and I owe you one in the future for...
You sure as
Allow
fuck
me.
do. And he turns and walks away.
All right. Look, and I'm gonna get real close to Kusanagi and get right up, like, in his personal space. If this is an inside job, you're the only one that knows how to do this stuff.
I mean, I thought I was the only one who knew how to do this stuff.
Just check it. You wouldn't go do anything stupid now after...
It would be stupid to do something like that when I'm surrounded by you and all of your people. Trust me, if I wanted to sabotage this place, I would do it from a very, very safe distance.
Go ahead
This
and
is
make
not
a
where I'd want to be while the sabotage is going on. You're right, that would be very stupid.
make a detect motives roll for me, please, Rowan.
All right.
I failed to announce this earlier, but due to the steadfast support of our viewership, each of you have one additional competency point each week. We attempt to either gather 100 follows or 15 subscriptions. That gives each of these survivors a slightly better chance of surviving the events of each session. So thank you. I'm sure they appreciate it. All right. Do you wish to do anything about that? It is 1 degree of failure.
I'll spend 2 competency points to make it a success.
Very well. You spend 2 competency points, and you do realize, although he's hard to read, he's awkward, and although he's well spoken, he often kind of falls into technical explanations more often than not. So you like things cut and dry. That's not how Kusanagi operates. However, you believe what he's saying. You don't think that he's responsible. Now, if he's lying to you, he's doing a damn good job and is better at it than you suspected, which means that he's much more dangerous than you expected. But currently, with the operational information that you have, Kusanagi's clear.
Look, my apologies for getting all up in your space. It's as you can see, been a very rough night for us.
I'm gonna have to go change my drawers. Don't do that again. We're cool, okay? We're cool.
Yeah, we're fine. We're fine. Okay, look.
Who's ever doing this though? Like my first suspicion was the shepherds. I mean, the shepherds are super creepy, admittedly. And I checked out their carriage and saw some even more creepy stuff. And I told Riggs about it. He didn't seem to take it too seriously. But from what I've seen, the limited amount I've seen, I feel like, yes, the shepherds are scary, but they're playing a longer game. Whoever is doing this is trying to hurt the Citadel now.
Yeah, there's a couple of different groups at play here. I think some of the people from, and she'll look over at Achira, Grey Ridge, seem to have a little bit of a grudge that we came in and saved their ass.
Is that what happened? Or was it more like because of your big bad guns and all the noise involved, you attracted a horde to Grey Ridge when you were coming here for some other reasons?
There was a horde there when we showed up. All right, we just, without all the guns, I feel like that would have gotten way worse than it actually did.
Those folks at Grey Ridge were capable of a lot. I mean, you know what that doctor was doing, who she was testing stuff on. I feel like for them, the end justifies the means. This is not outside of their playbook.
Yeah, no.
Faith. Across the courtyard from Riggs' unit, you see Omar break away and turn back towards you. He comes up next to you, watching this conversation happen. He stands as if he is simply part of a patrol with military precision. There's no informality to it. However, he does whisper to you, "I'm going to keep an eye on this. Do you need anything?"
And on what now? This fun little show that's happening?
Yeah, I don't trust it.
Hey, I got a weird question. Do you know what a alligator is?
Yeah, I've never seen one, but there was that book that we had. They're lizards.
Oh, okay. Like a small, like they're little, right?
No, they're supposed to be big, like land sharks.
It's like cat-sized.
No.
I don't know what a land shark is. I was trying to overhear what Achira and Kusanagi were talking about, and I got real just, thinking about what an alligator was, because the descriptions didn't really make any sense. Because I thought it was like a bug or something. But anyway, no, I'm fine.
Who's talking about alligators?
No, they were trying to make a comparison. I think it's called what is that called? An analogy? When you talk about somebody, but they're not really that. So anyway, they said the word alligator, and I got real hung up on what an alligator was, because I thought, oh, this is a good chance for me to learn a new word. And that's what I've been doing for the past 5 minutes. So yeah, I'm good. I think this is going to be real fun. I think we're going to...
Has she said anything else to you?
Which one? Oh,
You know.
yeah. Listen, I mean, she's kind of a bitch, but I don't think. I don't know. I'm starting to kind of feel like she didn't know what she was doing. She still doesn't know what she's doing.
She knew what she was doing. And by the way, Riggs put a bounty on Alligator. When that expedition was going south, he offered 50 extra rations to anyone who could come across a baby and bring it back here. So if you find out they have one, you let us know.
No, I think they were doing. Okay, well, yeah. I don't know if I would even know if I saw one. So, anyway, yeah. I think we're fine here, and there is some weird shit going on though with the radio. Did you notice that?
Nah, all comms are down. But Riggs is right now in with command and didn't look good. I mean, it's never good when the lieutenants have to go into command, but you know.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm not really sure what the end game is here. There's a lot of weird stuff happening at the same time, but I don't think any of it's good. You need to take care of yourself, and I don't know, you don't really have to watch this. You're just gonna get agitated.
All right, I gotta go back to the unit, but I just didn't want you to be out here with her.
It's fine. Seems like everyone's kind of keeping themselves busy, asking her a lot of questions. So
Rowan's here, so I guess you're fine. All right. Well, listen, if you need anything, the radios are down, but I'm not going to be far away.
Yep, I'll holler.
He kind of looks at Chira and then looks away really quickly and starts walking much faster than he should be back to his unit. You can tell he's distraught. Being around her does something to him, and you've never seen him quite like this. Meanwhile, inside of the tent that is just a few steps away from the scene outside in the center of the courtyard of the Citadel, the heavy army supply tent flaps gently in the night air. The smoke, acrid as it is, has been somewhat lessened by the presence of these canvas walls, Lampwick. You were about to leave when you sensed someone watching you from behind. You tried to leave more quickly. But a strange 14-year-old girl with scraggly hair down in front of her face, wearing hospital scrubs, stepped out of the shadows. She's holding on to a Rubik's Cube in one hand, solving it with one hand without looking at it. And you watch as the colors blur and flip as she continues to turn it wildly without so much as a glance. You can't see her eyes, but you know that she's looking directly at you, despite the fact that her head is low. What was it that you said to her?
I said to her, "Oh, you're special."
Now you're special too.
So that makes us a team. We're the same. Is that what you're saying?
We are not the same, but we are not so different. There are 565 steps for a 6-foot male to make it past the 13 buildings, the structures of this decommissioned army base. It was once known as McKendrick Army Base, or East Pin to those who were aware and familiar with it. There are 5 guards posted on the wall. Members of an outside organization have planted a device. If you find it, they will trust you.
If I find it, the members of the outside organization will trust me, or the people here?
The people here.
And where did you say this was again?
565 steps for a 6-foot man past the 13 buildings, the structures of the decommissioned army base known as McKendrick, or East Pin to those who are familiar with it.
How do you know this?
There are 56 individuals operating within this base. 3 of them are never seen. Radio communications operate on 3 major channels. The Rubik's Cube continues to turn wildly in the young girl's hands.
I take
She
a
can't-
step forward.
You take a step forward.
Very, very gently.
You can tell that she wants to step back, but she stands firm.
I stop. Hey, I want you to slow down. You're giving me a lot of really important stuff. What is your name? You can call me Lampwick. You probably already know.
You have to take me out of here,
I will.
but you can't let them see me. If they see me, they'll keep me.
I will make sure they don't see you. And with that, I have my bag that I've had with me this whole time. I unzip it, and inside of it, I have a white mask and a robe, another outfit just like my guards. This was meant for a friend of mine that I was thinking I might need to sneak out of here, but I'm hoping there's another way to get her out. You are special. And you have probably been misunderstood, and I know what that's like. And I will help you. Will you not harm me and my friends? Because I know that you are probably capable of it. I'll help you if you help me. And I put the stuff down on the ground.
There's nothing that you can do to save them.
I'm going to try anyway. And I'll get you out. I'll try.
The girl stops twisting the cube, and it ends perfectly solved, every color of the cube. Worn, aged, perfectly aligned. She steps over to the mask, touches it, and then looks back to you. You hear voices outside. You hear Riggs barking loudly, laughing, and then everything gets more quiet. Then you hear Rowan's voice and the others.
They're
What do
coming.
you do?
I tell her, you either need to sneak out right now and put this on. This might help you sneak away, but people are coming that might not be as nice as I am. You
She
can stay with
begins
me.
putting on these parts of this robe and wrapping. She puts the mask on. It isn't perfect. She's shorter than your guards. This outfit doesn't fit fully. You might be able to pull this off, but it's going to be difficult. And if anybody inspects this too closely, or even remembers that you only had 2 guards, Lampwick, you worry about the successfulness of this plan.
I tell her, keep your distance so that they can't tell you are so different from the ones I came here with. If you can sneak out, find me again. The closer you are to me, the closer you are going to be scrutinized.
565 steps.
565 steps past the Kendrick Army Base, the East Penn building, the former.
There are
building that used
13
to be there.
buildings. There are
And
5
something
guards
is there.
posted on the wall.
5 guards. I'm writing this down. In front of her, I have something that I'm writing this all down.
There is a device. It was planted there by others. If you find it, they will trust you.
Okay. You should get out of here before they get here. Thank you. I turn and try to meet them if I feel that they're coming towards me. I try to turn. I turn and kind of like move right, as if I'm looking for them to distract their attention, so that she might be able to slip out.
She walks out. She's awkward, strange. Her movements are quite different than the very fluid, skilled movements of your guards. But she steps out. Everyone outside of the tent can make a spot listen check. As all of you were engaged in various conversations, there is a chance that you will not notice this third individual stepping out. Given that both Kusanagi and Rowan have rolled 4 degrees of failure, I believe that that is safe to say that neither of you have noticed this individual. Faith, you have 1 degree of failure, which makes sense given your training. Achira, you have 2 degrees of failure. Does anyone feel the need to use their precious competency at this point to notice a guard stepping out of the tent that Lampwick is inside?
I know that if I say, no, this little girl's going to kill me. But if I say, sorry, just metagaming. I'm going to leave it. Keep your secrets.
Oh,
I
is
need
this
you to roll a
noticing-
dodge, Faith.
Why just me? Wait. Were you okay?
Is it that we're trying to notice the guard, or are we trying to notice the little girl? Because if it's the little girl, I'll spend competency. If it's a guard, I'll let it ride.
I guess that depends on how well you succeed as to
I
whether or
had
not
2
you notice
degrees.
a guard or a little girl.
Got it.
There is a bright red dot that appears on the side of your chest, and you know what this means. It's your brother Omar alerting you to his position. He's using a laser that he's had refitted, attached to a number of batteries. He often will use it at a distance to quietly let you know where he's positioned. You know that he's on the opposite side of the lot, now further away from the large barracks that are operated as the command center for the entire Citadel.
I sort of I just call over to Rowan real quick. Hey Rowan, I'll be right back. Bio break.
You need backup?
No, just I'll be right back. Just
Okay.
I'm gonna go off to that direction.
So you start moving across. It's not far, but you know that he was trying to signal you down, so you make your way into that direction. No one else. Well, I'm sorry, Achir, did you want to spend the competency or no?
No, that's okay. I'll let it ride.
Okay, so everyone is unaware of this. And Lampwick, what would you like to do?
I'm just leaving the tent, kind of looking around, trying to place where the voices were coming from. And as soon as I find them, I'm going to approach them. Meet
Your
them
2
halfway.
actual guards are still standing some distance away from the tent itself, and your new ally has slipped away around a corner, disappearing into the darkness.
Do I see Rowan?
Yes. You see everyone.
Well. Hi, folks. Do I see the collar on Achira's neck?
It's hard to
Is this
miss
big
it.
enough for me to see? I'm going to start to walk right to her. What the fuck is this? This isn't part of what we were talking about. Why is this on your neck? I say to Achira.
Well, because Rowan and Riggs's pet poodle distracted me, and then this one put it on me.
All right. Look, you guys, I'm telling you, this is enough of these games. If there's bad blood, that needs to be squashed. So we need to get the fuck out of here, and we need to, Rowan, we have a plan, we have an agreement, and Achira's part of that.
She'll be fine as long as she doesn't do anything stupid.
I agree with
I
Lampwick.
mean, like, play with like a gun while I have a bomb collar around my neck, something stupid like that. Also, Rowan, your soldiers have my book bag, and I would like that back.
And I look at Lampwick. Is it my soldiers that have Achira's book bag?
Achira looks over at Lampwick too.
You mean to suggest that it's mine? My guards? If it's them, we can go right to them and find out. Are they nearby? If they are, then I'll wave them over.
To be clear, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you intercepted that backpack, Lampwick, when Achira first came in on the truck. Now, whether or not you were able to keep a hold of it or kept it with your guards or kept it somewhere nearby, is that correct, Rowan? You were insinuating that that is what had happened when he'd first entered into the gates?
I may be mistaken, but I felt like when Rowan recovered it right after her face got blown up, people from the Citadel met with the shepherds to pass it off.
The last time Achira,
that long ago, I have had your backpack.
yeah, Achira, the last time she saw it was that somebody was carrying it into the back of one of the trucks, and
if the Citadel was given that,
you recall that, Lampwick. You were present. You were
it.
part of the brokering deal for that backpack, and that is right. Achira only came in with a hand weapon and a few other hidden items. You had only lost, I believe, a gun and your hand scythe upon entering, as Inez had thrown your hand scythe off into the road while you were traveling to the Citadel. So that is correct. And the backpack in question is the one that was carrying the VHS tapes. And that was broken.
And a very important book that Achira wants back.
Very important book.
Yes, then I have it. And and you can let me know if this is possible, but if it's a backpack that can fit inside of the one that I already have.
No, I'm sorry, Lampwick, you do not have it. You were part of the deal that brokered for it inside of the remains of a burnt out strip club. The shepherds have that backpack.
Got it. Your backpack is with us, Achira. I took it off. Well, it's at the shepherds as a part of the deal.
It's with the shepherds.
Yes.
And you call you and the shepherds us.
Well, if the guards started to come forward, as soon as I put it all together, I kind of put my hand up again and let them know that that they can keep their distance. There's no.
Sure, they do that. They stop.
Achira, we have a lot to catch up about.
Yeah,
but
us, we do.
Us means a lot more than what was just implied. I'll just tell you that.
No worries, Lampwick. None at all.
None at all.
None at all.
Hey, look, I'm here on the behalf of the shepherds. I'm here to try to, establish a truce between the shepherds and the Citadel. My hope is that truce might ripple into more communities. But we have a lot to catch up on. Rowan, you and I have been talking about this. I'm not here to do anything but help you, Achira. And part of me getting that bag was, at least in my mind, at least keeping it within reach for me, for you, outside of the hands of the people here, which I don't know if they necessarily have our best interests. But Rowan, I know that you're here to help make sure that the bridge actually happens. So how do we make this move forward? Now that we're all here, -1. But those of us that are left are here.
Well, I think burying the bad blood is a good idea.
So how do we get out of here? Because I'm assuming they're not just unless you have the power to be able to decide right here and right now that despite all the shit show that's been going on here, you can walk away from it and we can leave this behind and you can leave that for Riggs to figure out. Or are you in deep shit right now? In which case, how can I help you so that we all leave here in one piece?
Some of that is yet to be determined, but I appreciate the vote of confidence. A little bit of my trust in some of you is a little wavy, but perhaps, Kusanagi, you've been bothering me about going to explore something. Maybe we can do a little trust exercise and help Kusanagi find something he's been looking for.
I mean, I was afraid to ask, but yeah, I mean that'd be great. I don't think it'd be without risk, though. Just so you know. But I mean, whatever it takes to. I hear what Lampic's saying about building a bridge, and I gotta say, my previous experiences with religious groups notwithstanding, the shepherds wouldn't be my first choice of allies, but I think as long as we're not going to the shepherds, I'm cool with coming along with you.
I'm good with that. Rowan, you had mentioned earlier that you had found somebody that was responsible for whatever this shit was going on. Then you pointed your finger at me and said it had something to do with Grey Ridge, which again, we're not from. We're not from Grey Ridge.
No, but you were there. It's where I met you. You're not necessarily guilty by association, but there's still an association. So it's somebody over there. Wasn't sure how well you knew any of those people to begin with.
Well, let me see for myself. You want a trust exercise? Let me talk to this person. Let me see if there's anything I can extract out of them for you.
That is
but I
one
have to go in.
thing.
Yes?
That's one thing, Rowan. Lampwick is extremely good at talking things out of people and himself out of things. You should utilize the resources that you have when you have Lampwick on your side.
I want to come right back to this. However, Faith, you've walked across the yard. Your brother Omar is there. As you approach, he palms you his laser pointer. It has a large battery that has been attached to it. You know that Kusanagi helped him to get it operational. It won't last forever, but you know that your brother uses it again to communicate through Morse code or to signal for aid. Look, I just don't want you out here without some way to signal for help. If you need me, Riggs is blowing up in there. He just came out of command and he's punching things. So I need to get back to the unit before he goes full 5-alarm fire.
Whatever needs to get done. But yeah, you sure this thing? I mean, if you're not that close, how am I supposed to signal you?
Well, use it to signal someone else. You can get people's attention with it. Just me first, but I don't trust it out here, not without radio. And yeah, Riggs is, volcanic. I've not seen this in a while.
Yeah, he definitely seems a little more fiery than usual, but who knows? Apparently knows all these people.
You remember that logging expedition that we came across about a year ago? And how mad Riggs was after everything went foobar? It's worse.
Oh. Well, that's good. All right, I'll you go take care of him. I'll go check on Rowan, I guess. I mean, she seems to have it under control, but this is really weird. There's all these people here, and I don't know. There's something weird happening. I'll let you know.
Things go bad, Riggs gets loud. Things go bad, Rowan goes quiet. We need to keep ourselves safe. This isn't good.
We'll be fine. We're in the Citadel. Everything's going to be fine.
Yeah, Achira shows up. Everything goes to hell. Faith, I don't buy that.
Well, I I'll keep an eye on Ichiro. She's just another human like us.
All right.
For now.
He kind of like grabs your shoulder for a minute in an uncomfortable brotherly moment, and then nods to you and turns and walks away.
All right. I head back to the group.
Yeah, you walk back up on the conversation. Please continue.
I just give me some time, Rowan. Let me go and let Achira come with me because this is a trust exercise.
I already
Please.
got names out of her of a couple of the individuals involved, which OOC Rowan remembers very clearly, but May is very bad at taking notes.
Mm-hmm. Are you trying to drop names right now? Because one of those names is Sanderson and Polly are two that you remember very clearly. There was a third. But move forward as you will.
So I already got at least that out of her, which is a good enough place to start. Have you met any of those individuals in the time that you had spent there?
Sanderson and
Yeah.
Polly. Yeah, I know who you're talking
Was
about.
Sanderson the one you pushed, Lampwick?
No, Sanderson was the one. Sanderson was the second in command. He was the big dude who had a thing going on with the doctor. When Arya and I split up from you guys, we were with Sanderson and Polly, and they threatened us. But I managed to talk my way out of that. And Arya and I moved away from them. But look, I should talk to this person. Let this be the trust exercise, Rowan. We don't have time to waste. Let me get some information out of this person. You guys could use that. They're not obviously going to. This person's willing to die probably for their cause. Let me have a word with them, and I need to have Achira there with me. Just the two of us.
I mean, where am I gonna go, Rowan? And Achira does like the bomb collar on her neck.
Oh no, don't get me wrong. The two of you can go together. It's a matter of whether or not I'm going to send you in alone. I think I'm probably going to come in there with you just to keep an eye on things in case anything gets rough and I got to call in backup.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. Where are you all going? Right now?
Well, let's all go together. Let's just let Achira and I go in there and talk alone.
Things are a little tense right now, Faith. If Lampwick can get some extra information about the Grey Ridge people and what they're doing to attack us, who they are, even more names, possible locations, that's going to help us out a little bit with, and Rowan with her eyes will motion like upstairs, like towards where the head of everything is, those individuals that are in charge of everything.
All right, I mean, that one sure likes to talk, so whatever you all need to do.
Let's do it soon.
All right.
Lead the way.
And Rowan will lead them over there.
You're muted.
Rowan, you turn around along with the small unit that you are working with, and Faith, you and your two soldiers are absorbed by that group as you begin to march through the open courtyard of the Citadel. Where do you go, Rowan?
I take them to where this individual is.
Mm-hmm. So you go...
if I can, while we're traveling, I am keeping track of what that young girl told me, and I'm trying to find the 13 buildings. I'm trying to kind of now look at the encampment with totally different eyes because I'm trying to put together the clues that she.
How tall is Lampwick?
6 feet
so
tall.
You realize that as you have already made a number of steps outside of the tent, that you aren't going to be able to follow the exact instructions. However, you do see the walls that are being described, and you see flat buildings. From your perspective, you can see exactly 13 structures. The gates
Excellent.
are on the far side. There are a number of floodlights that are active, generators running underneath them. Still, though, those lights flicker, and the radios from all around you continue to burn and hiss and crackle. There's heavy smoke in the air. I'll tell you, Lampwick, if you wish to understand exactly what's happening and how you might be able to interact with the information that you've been given, if you give me a single competency point, I'll forego the need for you to make any specific rolls.
Done. Take
Though
it.
you know that you can't get to the exact location, you're assuming that since you count out about 20 steps, 500 of them would take you to the outside of the fence, near one of these floodlights.
Got it. I take note of that location and continue with more urgency moving towards where this captive is.
So now you're moving towards the captive alongside Rowan. Rowan, you're leading them to the mess hall and the kitchen that is attached to it. It is a large, flat building. It is painted gray, and there are a few windows, but all of those windows have been barred, and there are large sheets of corrugated metal that have been welded onto the front of it. At the top of the building, not the exterior, are around metal boxes a number of generators that are sputtering, and you can see them kind of working. You see a few of the maintenance staff walking across them, checking them all, but you watch as the lights, which are typically only activated when anyone is present within the mess hall, continue to flicker off and on. And you can see that this is one of the buildings that has been beset with some of these electrical problems. All of you approach a door that have two guards posted near it. Double doors, much like a cafeteria from the time before. However, all of the windows have been soldered and welded with large pieces of metal to prevent anyone from being able to see inside of it. They salute you as you approach, Rowan.
I'm gonna take these guys in here, see if we can't pry a little bit more information out of her pretty little head.
Yes, ma'am. And they pull keys off of a ring and fumble at the door, which has a large padlock across the side of a heavily chained bit of metal, a loop that had been welded onto the door frame itself, and loud clatter of chains as they open it up. The door creaks open and you see a dark room that has flickering lights.
I need to know where she is. Is she in here? Tell me where to go.
Does anyone answer it?
If Rowan knows where they have her at, I'll kind of point him in the right direction.
Well, if your people did their job, she's going to be handcuffed to a radiator in the far back of the room. In a chair, comfortable probably, but still someplace that she can't get near the windows or the doors.
I'm going to look in that direction. How far away is she from where we are right now?
You see the figure, again, flickering lights, seated in a folding chair about 50 feet away. There are large school cafeteria style benches and tables, the kind that fold, and a few of them have been folded and are pressed to the side. It seems like there's a great deal of flexibility here for the number of troops that it would house at any moment. However, currently, a number of these are creating barriers that are making it harder to see into the back of the room. You do see the figure, however, a dark silhouette, seated in a chair, back to you.
I'm going to approach. Rowan, there's nobody else here. This needs to be, they need to trust me for this to work. There can be no guards.
The best of my knowledge, no. Unless you got one of them creepy, crawly Halloween mask motherfuckers following you around still, it's just us.
I mean, they're always following me around, but they're not in here.
Yeah, they're more terrifying than anything we got, kid.
Oh, they are more terrifying than anything that you've got, for sure. Achira and I need to move forward, just the two of us, because they'll trust her, and I need her help with this. The rest of you have to stay back here. And with that, I'm going to start to move forward.
Achira, do you follow?
Chira follows.
Rowan,
Kusanagi, Faith, do you add anything to this?
I keep my gun trained in the direction they're going, just in case something happens, but I stay where I am.
I'm gonna sit down at one of the tables if there's anywhere that has decent-ish light. I mean, I probably have a small like flashlight or lantern clipped to my vest, and I'm gonna start. I'm gonna open up my radio and start trying to figure out what's going on with these strange radio communications.
I know you have specialized training. Make a roll for me, please. You have 1 black die of difficulty to that roll. Rowan, what are you doing?
I would like to follow just a little bit further than the rest of them so that I'm not hearing the noise from Kusanagi and Faith over there, but I can still kind of eavesdrop just close enough out of eye shot from the person, but hear what they're all saying to each other.
All right. So Rowan takes a few careful steps as the two of you begin moving forward, and then she stops. Lampwick, is this acceptable to you?
Achira goes over to Rowan and steps closer into the personal space. Really? You have your guards at the door. There's no way out. And you're between us and the door. And I have a bomb collar on my neck. We just need a moment, Rowan.
I don't know how well you know Grey Ridge, and I don't know if the Shepherds and Grey Ridge are going to team up and bring the Citadel down. I have to be alert to Chira, and you have to understand that.
I understand. I'll move forward. I do understand that, Rowan, and I think that this may not be the time and place for it, because the immediate important thing is to make sure that she doesn't think that you can hear her, because you right now are undermining us and our ability to get her to talk. She's not going to talk to you. I will tell you what I learned. But if you want to take that risk, it's your Citadel that's being attacked right now. So if she doesn't talk because of you, then that doesn't fall on my shoulders, that falls on yours.
Just remember, Lampwick, that if she ends up selling you out to the Citadel, saying you said anything that you didn't say, you've got no one on your side at that point to back up that story and corroborate your safety with the Citadel either.
I understand. But this trust exercise, let me do it. This is mine.
Right.
For you.
And
if I do what I intend to do, and if I succeed, then maybe you'll speak up on my behalf because of that. Achira, come with me. And as we, if you follow, as we approach, I'm going to start to move forward. What do we notice about the person? Like, the first thing I want to know is, are they dead or alive?
A fair question in this world. It's a female form. She's sleeping, it seems. Her back is turned to you. Head slumped against the wall. Next to this radiator, you see one hand, chained. It's dark, but the light keeps flashing on and off. Make a spot listen, both of you. Achira, you have 1 degree of failure, but Lampwick, you have 4.
I think this makes sense. I think there's so much going on in Lampwick's head, like that creates more noise than will allow for him to notice what
All right.
might be right in front of him.
What do you do?
I'm gonna let that ride. I'm getting closer. I'm gonna move around, and I want to see. And I tell Achira, you know how this place is. I want to make sure that this is not a Romero that we're about to move towards. It's gonna try to bite our head off.
Feel free. Go right ahead and check. I mean, she is handcuffed.
It's true. So I'm gonna walk around. I'm gonna see. Does she appear to be a Romero?
How do you approach her?
Very, very slowly, and I'm just kind of trying to ascertain any of the, telltale signs of undead, like the noises or anything of that sort.
Are you being quiet?
I'm being quiet, yeah.
So you continue forward. Your footfalls strike against the linoleum floor. There's an echo. There's a squawk of a radio somewhere in this large cafeteria as Kusanagi continues to work on the electronics inside of his walkie. Kusanagi, you, with the successes that you've made, managed to clear your radio for a moment. There's something outside of the radio itself that's scrambling the signals. You're certain of it. Your equipment is sound. But there is a squawk for a moment. And another footfall hits the linoleum near this figure. Lampwick, do you say or do anything to catch the attention of this individual as you approach?
Achira sits on the other side of the cafeteria table where her body would be blocking this person from view, looks up at Lampwick and goes, if she's sleeping, is she the one that you really wanted to talk to?
If I haven't noticed any gurgling or anything, I'm gonna catch exactly what Achira said. And I will say, just in case, I will whisper towards the figure and I'll say, I'm a friend of Sanderson's and I'm a friend of Polly's. And I will be right back. So that if they might be trying to, shoot someone, if they have managed to do that, maybe they won't. But with that, I'm going to go right back to Achira. And the first
You
thing out of my
whisper
mouth
these
is,
words,
"Fuck."
and for the first time, you catch this individual's attention. As she whips around and grabs at you, you see a broken beer bottle jutting out of her neck, blood slick across her chest. As she's chained to this radiator, she reaches out at you, pale, a Romero, grasping desperately towards you. We're going to take a short break. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Outbreak Undead, Rag and Bone on twitch.tv at Hunters Entertainment. We're glad that you're with us. Our survivors have, within the confines of the stronghold known as the Citadel, made their way to a cafeteria that holds a prisoner. Lampwick and Achira have just discovered that that prisoner is no longer among the living. Lampwick, the figure in front of you, reaches out wildly. Everyone in the cafeteria hears and can make their own assumptions as to what is happening. The jagged, broken beer bottle sticking out of her throat.
I put my hand, I back up. Hopefully I didn't get close enough for her to be able to reach out to me.
I'll have you make a
tell me.
dodge check.
Damn, why did I say that? Okay.
No,
Achira was
no
on the
dice
other
advantage.
side of the table.
Achira is far enough away, yeah.
Yeah, she's just gonna swing her legs over and then get up and back away.
That won't be hard for you to do. Lampwick, you pull your hand back just in time, and you do feel the cold, slick, blood-soaked hand as it smears blood across your hand, reaching just moments before it almost was able to grab hold of you.
Okay. With that, I'm going to move back. I'm going to back all the way up to Achira, and I'm going to put my... If I see anybody coming, I'm going to just tell them, no, hold on.
Wait, is there some black bile blood on the back of Lampwick's hand right now?
It seems, well, you'll have to take a look at it later. You don't have a clear view of it in the dark, flickering lights here.
Okay, so I'm backing up to Achira, and I say under my breath, look, there's not enough time. I was trying to get some private moment with you. There's a lot that we need to talk about. It's in the book that I gave you. You still have the book that I gave you, don't you? Please tell me you still have the book that I gave you. I gave you a book earlier. When we first got here, when I first saw you, when you were...
I haven't had a chance to look through it.
That's okay, as long as you have it.
Because
I wrote a lot in there. I'm with the shepherds.
I think that's enough. Rowan, Faith, Kusanagi, how do you react to this situation? You see Lampwick and Achira sort of talking amongst themselves as this Romero chained to this radiator reaches out wildly towards them.
Faith, you want to go ahead and shoot that loud-ass thing screaming at us? I had a feeling that might happen.
Was that like that before? Or no? This is a new thing?
And you know what? It's kind of a shame because that's a badass move. Take yourself out, not to reveal any information. I feel like she would have been good for us.
Oh, I see.
No, this is somebody else. Somebody else is a step ahead of us. There's nothing wrong with the radios I set up. Someone must have gotten to one of the towers and is messing with the repeaters. There's somebody here. There's somebody actively sabotaging stuff. And they killed her because she knows something about it.
Where are the repeaters at, Kusanagi?
They're scattered around the perimeter. There's one not too far from here.
Is there like a main one or something that somebody might have attached something to mess this up? I don't know. I've seen movies, but I don't know how this shit works.
I wouldn't be as silly as to make one a main one. It would immediately be a target. Unfortunately, messing with any of them could have repercussions, and that's what we're seeing here. I'm not saying I designed it badly. I'm saying it couldn't be designed better.
Cool. You guys figured that out. And Faith will, I would like to try to take aim to take out the Romero from where I am, but I don't know if I'm close enough. I'm not sure where how much space there is between.
You can roll your pistol if you like, and you can shoot this Romero dead if you choose.
I do that.
You will be shooting in the general vicinity of Lampwick and Achira. So if you catastrophically fail, it could be dangerous.
Well.
Just don't catastrophically fail.
Sorry, look at my thingies. Okay, that is a 3 times multiplier. All right. Okay,
Faith takes aim with her pistol and pulls the trigger.
Sorry, I gotta do it again. It was having a hard time.
Lampwick, you and Achira see her draw. You're fairly certain that you know where she's aiming.
I'm gonna back up.
As the figure will take both of those successes and will use them for you to eliminate this sad Romero.
With that, as soon as the Romero goes slump, I turn to Achira and I say, just follow my lead. And I go up to where the Romero is, and I'm going to... the piece of paper that I had where I scribbled what the young girl told me about the location of this thing that I've ascertained is those floodlights. I'm going to act like I've pulled off of this now dead Romero, this Romero that was the person from Grave Ridge. And I'm going to go right back to Rowan.
You're just filled with surprises.
Just follow my lead. We'll clear this up.
No worries, Lampwick.
I am walking to Rowan with this paper, and I hand it to her. Look, I don't know what any of this means, but this seems to me like it's a location of something. I'm reading it, and I'm just gonna say, it's got to be something outside the gates. It might be by the floodlights, I guess. I don't know, but it looks to me that this suggests that there's something left. You do with this as you please. You tell your bosses that you found it. This is your thing, because they're about to burn you alive from what you were telling me before. You're in deep shit.
Is there ever a time when dealing with us hasn't given you something to go home with, Rowan? Like, I mean, information. Like now.
As I've got permanent reminders of you guys for the rest of my life. Yes, that is very true.
You guys is one too many people. I wasn't there for that. Don't put that on me. But hey, look, 565
I
steps
was also
past
not
these
there.
buildings.
I would like to claim innocence on that.
And then, of course, the person that did that did pay the price, didn't they?
They did. Kusanagi, do you think that this could possibly be the thing that you're talking about that's messing up all of the equipment, a location to that?
I mean, it could.
Do you look at the
Why don't-
paper, Kusanagi?
Sure.
There's some rough, very strange directions using footsteps. But given the direction and all of that, it does seem like it's talking about some of the floodlights that are on the outskirts of the wall. You do have radio extenders there so that they can actually breach outside of the wall. That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, there are a limited number of towers and things that we've salvaged. Some are like old lamp posts and other things that have been scavenged off of the highways. But yeah, there are a limited number of actual structures. Yeah, of course, we use the same thing for our floodlights as we do for some of the repeaters.
Well, then we should go there, no? Somebody should go there and see what's causing this thing, because if that's a bomb or whatever it is, then it's probably meant to go off soon.
And you want to go, okay.
I want you guys to use this information. Rowan, this is yours. This was a trust exercise. This is something for you to prove to the people that are probably going to be breathing down your necks that this wasn't your fault. Let it be on Riggs.
He found you more information.
That is true. But let's see if it checks out. I think it's a good idea if we all go see what's happening over at this location, because if I bring this to the higher ups and it turns out to be nothing, I'm in no better place than I am right now, except for the fact that now they're mad at me for raising the alarm over absolutely nothing. So let's make sure there's something.
Let's go.
I agree. Better to go to them once and say, hey, I preemptively fixed this thing. They're not going to want you to bring you. They're not going to want you to bring them more problems. They're going to want solutions.
Exactly.
Just in case, Kusanagi, did you give that detonator over to somebody yet? Because I think Rowan should have it.
No, I mean, I haven't had a chance to initialize it yet, but I mean,
I don't know what that means.
If Rowan wants to hold on to it. And I mean, if we can sort out this radio frequency thing, I should be able to finish.
He means that if you don't fix what's going on with the radios, and this bomb collar goes off at any time instead of just pushing the detonator. So anybody want to get close to me?
I stand right next to Achira when she says that.
I'll keep a couple feet if that's all right. But yeah, Kusanagi, I'll take that. Just so if anything, nobody blows your head off for being in possession of military property.
Yeah, thank you. There's a cap over it, so I mean, it's not armed yet, but just don't mess with it.
Yeah. Better safe than sorry, understood. And Rowan will take it and put it in a very safe inside pocket.
So field trip, huh?
Lead the way. I take Achira, now that I'm next to Achira, I take her hand. And I look at you and I say, I'm sorry about Arya.
Don't.
I'm sorry.
Not now. This is literally, how can you be so un-Lampwick right now? This is literally the worst possible time.
Because I don't know how much time. Look, that's all I want you to know.
For you to even, I can't right now. This is not the time.
No, I know. It's not. I just wanted that much out.
Now that they're in better light, does Achira notice any black blood or bile on Lampwick's hand from where the Romero swiped him?
The blood on the hand that Lampwick was nearly grabbed by is red, not black.
Ichiro lets go of his hands. This isn't the time. We can
Okay. Fine.
have this conversation. Hopefully we have a chance to.
I just wanted you to know
Just
that
don't-
much.
Just right.
But
I
you're right.
can't even really. I don't want to hear someone else say her name right this second.
Done. All right, let's go. Let's get the fuck
Let's
out of
go.
here.
You all gather
Let's get
back
outta here.
together. The flickering light stabilizes for a moment within the cafeteria. You're perfectly lit. It's dark outside. The doors are still open. 2 guards are standing by it. Outside, the floodlights have also stopped flickering. The radios, however, continue to crackle, pop, and hiss. What do you do?
As we walk out, do I see the 2 guards by the door? Am I able to talk to them?
As commanded, they remained at their posts. They're standing there at the ready.
Gentlemen, why is the only link to information we have dead?
They immediately look extremely confused and nervous, trying to look past you into the cafeteria. Ma'am, I don't understand. What?
Yeah, anybody been in or out of here that you've seen?
No, ma'am, it's not obviously it's our fault. We just did as we were told. We kept the prisoner locked in. No one's been in or out.
So it seems like the prisoner killed herself with a bottle, Rowan.
Just
Kind of
checking.
a dawning realization goes across the guards' faces. Ma'am, we did let her keep the beer that you gave her.
Yeah. Well, that was a poor life decision. I will let it slide this time since I didn't specifically say she was on suicide watch. But the 2 of you might want to start paying more attention from here on out because everybody gets 1 warning here. Next time.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
You're good,
I'm
Rowan.
going to approach Rowan.
Back when I was here, that would have been a death sentence.
We got bigger things to worry about at this point, like figuring out what the fuck this jibber jabber is written at 59 steps. What? Where even is this?
Did one of you determine where this might be? You know this place. I thought it was, and if we're outside, I'm going to point to where I kind of thought it was.
All right, let's head that way.
Kusanagi, yeah, that if you also read it, everybody kind of follows the steps. You don't know where the steps are from, but generally speaking, if they're talking about the wall, it's probably one of these repeaters that has been wired up to the towers that are used for the floodlights. They stand above a large series of fences that have been built. The citadel is wrapped in a number of secure perimeters. The interior perimeter are the remains of some very high chain link that has been reinforced with metal and abandoned vehicles that have been parked on the other side of it, some of which have, with a crane, been stacked on top of each other. And varied points within this wall are a little higher than elsewhere, but for the most part, it's fairly well regulated all the way around the perimeter of the entire campus. Now, there are 3 towers that this could be referring to. If someone wishes, either Lampwick, you know which one it is, so you can take them to the one that you think it is, or people can try to make some educated guesses based on the very strange information that is scrawled on this piece of paper.
I'm gonna hope that they figure it out. And while they're kind of trying to put it together, I'm gonna turn to Kusanagi and I'm gonna ask him, like, I know there's something wrong with the radios. How many channels do we have here? I mean, normally,
There are 3, but it's supposed to be dynamic. It's supposed to switch between them.
Okay.
It's not doing that. I know this looks like somebody who knows a lot about radios, but honestly, like a lot of the stuff that's put together here, I try to kind of like make it seem more mysterious than it is. You don't have to be a genius to sabotage this stuff. In fact, you don't need to be a genius to build it in the first place.
Well, which one of these towers? Where do you think this is? You are, even though you don't have to be a genius, you're the smart guy. So I was hoping you'd be the one to figure out.
I think it's going to be that one, and even if it isn't, if I can pop the box open, I'll know for sure.
I'm going to do one thing, Knox. No matter what tower he points at, if he points at the one that I know it is, then I'm going to go, okay, great. If he doesn't point at the one that I know it is, I'm going to act like he did and that I misunderstood, because I know time is of the essence. So if he pointed over here, I'm going to be like, oh, that one, and I'm going to walk over there, because I know we're running out of time, and I don't want them to know that I know this the way that I know it.
Do you want me to make a check, Knox?
I'm just going to roll a d6. And Alquin, I would like for you to choose 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, 6.
I'll choose 5, 6.
He points at the correct tower.
I pat him on the shoulder and I start walking right towards it. Kusanagi says he thinks it's this one. I call out to the group.
So the unit, again, to remind you all, along with Faith, there are 7 soldiers that are traveling alongside you. All of you begin moving forward. The soldiers kind of spread out as they have been trained to do, so that no one individual is grouped together for any sort of surprises. It would be harder to strike all of the individuals as they move forward. But they also have a screen behind you if any of you should try to turn around, run away, or cause any sort of issue as you were moving forward. Rowan, you can kind of feel a couple of protective nods and eyes that kind of land on you. You've been taking the brunt of verbal abuse from a number of individuals around you, and your soldiers are not used to watching anyone disrespect you that way. So they're very attentive to the idea that maybe you need support at some point. However, they've not vocalized this because they know that that would be not good for them either. But they are very aware that things here are different than they've been in the past. So as all of you move forward, is there anything that you want to announce as you approach this tower?
I think I would just be searching the perimeter for any more loose arrows or anything at all. Just spot listen, I guess.
All right, go ahead and make a spot listen check for me, please.
Looking for bad guys. There we go. One degree of success.
Okay, so with 1 degree of success, there are no additional Romeros or any sort of opponent that's within the yard itself. It seems clear, and the guards that are back on their regular rotation are back on the top of the wall. There's a number of walkways that have been built on top of some of the vehicles that I described, mostly made out of plankings of wood and corrugated steel. However, these walkways are like bridges that work their way around the perimeter of the entire camp. And then there's barbed wire and spikes of metal that are jutting outward, covered in razor wire and whatnot. Everything seems to be fairly normal given the situation, Faith. Anyone else?
I want to look towards the tower itself and look for any places there could be potential like tripwires or anything that I don't recognize when I've come out here to do maintenance before. If there's anything that's been moved that's different from what I'd expect.
You can make a spot listen as well. Does anyone else wish to do anything? Any intentions?
Rowan would like to also make a spot listen just to get bearings.
All right, if you're getting your bearings and keeping an eye on everything around you.
Achiro would like to make a spot listen just to be able to see how the area compares to what she knew before and see possible escape routes. Not that that will come up, but just to see.
Go ahead and make that roll.
I am remembering there's a mention of 5 guards, and I'm looking around to see if I can see the 5 guards that were that the girl told me were posted around here.
There are exactly 5 guards on view on the wall.
And I think she told me that the device was planted by others, which is plural. So I'm keeping a lookout to see if I notice anyone kind of running. I'm letting them take charge. They're going to go handle it. I'm going to try to, and if I would have stuck close to Achira, and I would have like just kind of scanned around to see if I see anything on the peripheries.
All right. Achira, you have 1 degree of failure. Rowan, you have 2 degrees of failure, which just means that you don't notice anything. If you wish to change that, let me know. Kusanagi, you have 3 degrees of success. I feel that that is more than just simply noticing that everything seems to be in place. With 3 degrees of success, there's something strange about the electrical fluxes that are in this tower. They're not attuned to the others. Now, many of the wirings that have been placed within the entire installation, they're not synced together. So that's not entirely surprising. Each one is run, maybe 1 or 2 towers are run off the same generator, but there's a number of different generators. So the fact that these lights have been flashing differently is not strange. What it looks like and what you are hypothesizing is actually happening here, just by looking at all of this, is someone was actually able to get through here and mess with a number of the generators beforehand. It's just dropped into darkness. It just became nightfall. The generators were just activated. So when all the other chaos started to happen, it was dusk, and this was probably done ahead of time. You realize. However, this station, the light is much more constant. It almost seems like just regular generator flux. It's almost as if this tower, they wanted it to remain powered up.
Okay, well, given the stress that's on the system, it's unusual that this place is working as well as it is. So my worry is that there's something running off of it which has been added to it. And they've rerouted power from some of the other places to make sure that whatever is in there that's turned on stays on. I don't know if that's a trap. I don't know if that's a relay, something that's sending them information to somewhere else. But people have been here. People have been messing with this.
You're our systems expert, Kusanagi. It's going to be up to you to go over there and check it out.
I am not going over there alone. In fact, I think I should probably, since I'm the only person who can fix it, I should not be the first to go in there. I think somebody else needs to go in first.
Enough said. You, kid. And I'm going to look over at one of the individuals that's like part of the soldiers that maybe might not be the best at his job and has pissed me off a couple of times. And I'm going to send him in first.
Yeah, his face goes white and he looks to you. Yes, ma'am. And kind of looks to you, Faith. The two of you have had training courses over the years, and he's not very reliable, but not a bad person, just sort of useless.
You can do it, bud. I promise if you get in and out of there in 2 minutes, I'll give you a cookie.
I don't want a cookie. I want to live. And just
Oh.
walks over to the tower and starts climbing up the ladder.
Just do your job good then, bud.
Some of the other soldiers sort of chuckle, and you hear they relax. Their guns are still in their hands, and they're at ease as this probably 18-year-old kid climbs up this ladder. You hear his boots hitting the metal rungs as he pulls himself up. He looks back at you a couple of times, Rowan, and then moves faster as he's making his way up. Is there a problem, Lampwick?
I'm just visualizing this in my mind and seeing the worst happen. In
I
my
know.
head.
Yeah.
Yeah, Achira kind of grabs Lampwick's sleeve because she's pretty
Yes.
sure that he's going to be like, I can. It's like, no. Rowan has pets for a reason.
He makes it all the way up. The other guards that are on the wall signal to you with larger flashlights, Rowan. They're just 2 clicks since the radios aren't working, which is just a sign of like, is all clear?
Whatever our signal is for maybe is what I signal back.
So 3 clicks. Yeah, No, it's 3 clicks with a flashlight. You take a light, 3 pops back to them, and they don't move in. They just let this all kind of play out as the young private makes his way up the tower. And he pulls himself up and then disappears from the hatch on the bottom side. You hear a creaking of wood and a thump. He disappears inside. You see his boots last. Camo pants tucked neatly into them. There is a tight, small space inside of each of these. Kusanagi, you've spent a number of hours in each of them. They are usually, wiring and other items to help all of these antenna and lights maintain proper operation throughout the various seasons, which here can really wreak havoc on all of this equipment. It's fairly fragile anyway. A good snowfall.
You wrap a 56K modem in enough duct tape and it'll survive the apocalypse.
Well, it's being taken care of, and you've spent a lot of time in these small rooms, but you know how tight it is. It's like a closet in there, and they're just pretty much propped up by these large scaffold arms of metal that hold these things aloft and then hold these large floodlights that can either be focused on the interior or the exterior as needed. Usually there's a general spread. The young private disappears and no one hears from him for quite a while. The radios aren't working, so there's no way to tell exactly what's happening. Then you hear this. Sound of a record player. Speakers. A small, tinkling, soft piano. Someone is playing music inside of this small box. It is a simple tune.
The hell is that?
I don't know. I don't recognize it, and I consider myself kind of an authority.
Ma'am, somebody put a record player up here. Do you want me to turn it off? It just went on.
No, don't turn it off. Tell them to turn it off.
Yeah, don't turn it off. Why do we not want to turn it off?
That might trigger something.
Okay.
It's just playing.
How close is the needle to the center of the record?
There are flowers up here too. Who the hell is Maria Espinosa? The entire tower explodes.
That was a message.
Yeah, that was the doctor. And she'll look over at Achira and Lampwick and go, we're getting blamed for what your girl did. Now, I've already avenged her, but I just want you to see, like, maybe we're not all as bad as you think we are. Maybe sometimes people are fucking with us just because, we are us. But, yeah, that one's not on me. Killed a lot of people. Espinosa wasn't one of them. Really tried to save her. And you all know that's true.
You know
She definitely wasn't. And just think, you could serve up the killer of Maria Espinosa if you hadn't already killed her yourself. But would they believe that?
They will, as long as you are there to explain that to them. Kusanagi was there. You two were there. You all have at least a less stressed relationship with Grey Ridge than we do. They had you there for a short amount of time.
I mean, I don't have any relationship with Grey Ridge, and to be honest, when I found out what the doctor was doing, I was not cool with it. So I would like to denominate myself to be any sort of ambassador to Grey Ridge.
You've done enough, Kusanagi.
What was the doctor? I mean, I don't know if you recall, but I was hurt and not always awake. And then when I finally did wake up, I woke up just in time to witness.
That special penicillin she was making that she was so famous for and that everybody was so excited and was going to change everything, she tested it on people. She said they were criminals. She said they were subhuman in some way. And trust me, that is a very slippery slope. Who knows what other stuff she did?
East wall to Mother Bird. Eastward to Mother Bird. Mother Bird, are you there?
Mother Bird is your call sign inside of the walls, Rowan.
And Rowan, just telling you, if you would want us to go back and deliver this message, maybe you should go with us to make sure they believe it.
I think that sounds like a pretty good plan. Mother Bird here. What can I do for you?
We've got Papa Bear over here questioning what that explosion was. Do you have a report?
That was a vendetta from our good friends at Grey Ridge on behalf of the missing doctor that we didn't kill. I'm in talks right now with the individuals who know exactly what happened to the doctor, like we all do, and we're trying to figure out a plan to go...
Fuck the call signs! What the fucking hell is going on out there?
Lots of explosions. That's what.
Who's fucking dead now?
I think Private Roberts.
Ah, fuck him. Look, get the rest of those assholes, bring them to the center, we gotta talk. Riggs out.
Understood.
No.
All right, you all heard him. I will do what I can because at this point I need you all to live so that they stop attacking us. So all I can tell you is I will try my hardest to not let Riggs blow your faces off.
Well, I'll tell you what. You trying to make peace happen without us is going to be impossible. With all the people that you have now, you're making more enemies by the second.
I know that.
Okay, all right. I guess this trust exercise is now in your hands. We did our part.
Smoldering remains of the tower burn in front of you, and the charred body of Private Roberts hit the ground and is slowly standing in the fire.
I'm going to say out loud, well, shit, this could have been a lot worse without your quick thinking, Rowan. Nice job. Loud enough for everyone to hear.
Yeah. We still have Kusanagi.
Does someone take care of the flaming Romero that's pulling itself out of the ashes of that clusterfuck?
If anyone wants to give me a gun, I'll do it.
I'll shoot it. Stop asking for guns, for God's sakes.
Faith, go ahead and make your pistol roll.
Whoops. There it goes.
With a single shot, you drop the Romero. It falls to its knees first and then down to the ground where it was, burning. It's been put to rest. Achiro, make a spot listen check for me.
One degree of success.
You look down at your feet. A lot of debris kind of flew through the air. No one was really harmed. You just had to kind of duck out of the way from that. It was quite a throw. Small space, a lot of explosives. Kusanagi, you did the math on that. There was a lot in there, whatever it was. Probably a time trigger using the record player. However, Achiro, what you notice that no one else notices is a piece of board from perhaps a box, but you recognize it. It says TNT across it, and you recognize it from the mines of Grey Ridge.
Definitely Grey Ridge people. Oh, everything comes back to roost, doesn't it? I hope they remember us well.
They remember me
In what way, though?
in ways that will help us.
Here's hoping. I feel like they remembered me well, but it depends on who saw you push that one person into the Romero's lampwick.
Oh, I know you did. So we're on the same side.
I did. The doctor did. I just don't remember if anybody else did.
Not Sanderson or Polly. I was with them for a long time. And I wasn't by myself, but I'm on okay
right
terms.
Not right now.
I know.
The two of you are saying all of this as Rowan and the troops kind of herd you all into the center of the campus for the Citadel. The lights have stabilized. The radios are now working. It seems, at first glance, as if the saboteurs are long gone. This most likely was the remains of their plan. No doubt they're disappointed from afar. If anyone survived this, that more were not hurt in the exchange. More dead didn't end up being produced within the walls, creating more issues for the Citadel. But all of you now make your way into this open air courtyard. There are a number of flagpoles. The flag of the Citadel still flies next to an American flag. Here is a large tank that has been parked. Riggs is standing on top of it. A number of the Citadel soldiers are filtered out in a line. Rowan, you can tell just looking at Riggs from this distance, he's done fucking around.
Faith, keep an eye on these guys real quick. I'm gonna go talk to Riggs alone for a second before this shitstorm starts.
No problem.
Faith,
And,
you take charge of the others, and Rowan, you make your way towards the tank.
Yeah.
He's chomping on a cigar. The cigar's gone out, but you can see that he's chewing on it.
Ooh, it's an extra wet stogie day, Riggs.
You know, I usually am never at a loss for words. How long we been on tour together?
Forever, it seems like.
It seems like fucking forever. I trust you. You're my sister. I would never let anything happen to you. We are blood. Just like we're all fucking blood around here. This place, this is the only bastion of motherfucking safety and sanity in a world gone fucking crazy. And you can tell he stopped just talking to you, Rowan, and immediately just started talking to everybody here. Is there something that you want to say to him to bring him back down?
Riggs, we're gonna figure it out. We know who did it. We know how to fix it.
Good. You know who did this shit.
You remember those Grey Ridge assholes that we went to go save when they were getting overrun? They have a little conspiracy of a vendetta going on against us, of some of the survivors, mad about the doctor being gone, which, as we know, is not our fault. So, lucky for us, we have people here that know the truth, that it was not the Citadel. As far as rebuilding goes, that's going to take a while, but at least maybe we can get these motherfuckers off our ass while we try to rebuild.
Look, Hotshot, what the hell are you suggesting?
We have to locate the rest of the group of people from Grey Ridge. We have to find them. Maybe there's somebody here within our walls that joined around that time that might not be who they seem to be.
Yeah, that was sorta what I was catching from Command. That we've gotten sloppy. And that someone within our walls, and not the regular fucking assholes, pointing to the group of survivors in front of him, but someone else has been doing us very dirty. And I sure as fuck don't like that. Command definitely doesn't like that. So let me ask you, Rowan. One of us is going to have to toss ourselves on a grenade. Sorry if that's too soon. So who's it going to be? You? Are you going to try to solve this? You're going to go out and do it yourself? Or do you want me to go out there?
I think the group we have right here is capable. No need to worry yourself, Riggs. You let me take my break when I needed it, and judging by that cigar, I think right now is when you need a break, if for nothing else, your blood pressure. But let us take care of it. We were the ones there. This group has survived anything we've thrown at them thus far, so they're pretty durable. Let me go with them. We'll take Faith. We'll find out what's going on.
There's something fucking else. Achira?
Yes, Pumpkin?
Step your smug ass forward.
Ichiro walks forward.
Kusanagi, take the collar off.
Are you sure about this?
I fucking want it on you, but I've got orders. The collar comes off. That's from Command.
Ichiro does not understand, like, at all.
Well, I'm relieved, honestly. I shouldn't have even suggested it. So yeah, I'm gonna go
Did
up.
I say anything else to you, Egghead?
I'm doing it. Chira, sorry. I'm gonna get in with a screwdriver and start popping this latch off. I'm doing so. It looks like I'm doing so super delicately.
By the way, Pumpkin, you know that that really, really pretty scar that I gave you? As a thank you for you taking this collar off, when I come back and kill you, I'll make sure to do it when you're not looking. Unless you want to
Very-
tell the truth to Faith and Omar now.
He's very quiet. Command is offering you an olive branch. And unless you want that branch broken off in your ass, I suggest you shut up, take the courtesy that's being shown you, and march yourself out. They want you to remember that we let you fucking go.
10-4, Pumpkin.
Lampwick,
Yeah, Pumpkin.
I'm going to make a willpower roll. Rowan, you see his hand goes up to the side of his firearm, and he breaks the seal on the buckle, and then he stops.
Command is watching. I'm ready to go.
Your arrangement stands. But you and your freaks are to get the fuck out ASAP. I want to see dirt trails. Capiche?
You got it. I really wanted to stay, actually, and like play some cards with you, but I'm sad that that's not.
You know, on a
happening.
personal note, I can't wait till your bullshit comes and catches you up. Sooner or later, your smarmy fucking attitude is gonna get you and every one of these assholes killed. And I'm gonna be clapping from afar.
I'm gonna go to speak, and then I'm gonna like just kind of shrug.
Yeah, Achira's gonna stand in front of Lampwick, breaking the mad dogging eye contact between Riggs and Lampwick, and then just be like,
I'm gonna back up towards Rowan.
All right. Maybe it's best that you do this, Rowan, because if you're stepping out of the wall, you're taking all of these people with you. You have leave to take Kusanagi as well, but he's not going alone. Faith, Command wants you to go as well. We're sending
Okay.
3 others along with Omar. That's it.
Well, me and Omar are going on this little adventure.
Your brother's insistent. I like your brother. He's a hard worker. I'm not going to deny him protecting you. And frankly, given the nature of the people that you're traveling with, I'll feel better at night knowing that he's there. No offense, Rowan.
None taken. The more we have, the better. And Omar is he's a tough one.
So, Achira, you want to try to tell the kids the truth. Have at it. They know the fucking truth. We save them.
they're not ready to hear what that saving really entails. That saving. And until they are, your secret's safe with me, Pumpkin.
His hand is back at his firearm, but all he does, spits out his cigar, hops off the tank, and walks away. You're alone. Well, you're surrounded by troops of the Citadel, but for the most part, you're alone. There is also, some distance away, a carriage pulled by a tightly wrapped horse in black cloth. Simple but well built. an antique, a sore thumb within this complex. There are 2 individuals standing on the outside of it. Your guards. Lampwick.
Right.
Is the collar off of Achira, or did Kusanagi need some more time?
It's on Kusanagi.
Yeah, I've removed it at this point.
Then Achira will move over to closer to Kusanagi while she's like rubbing her neck. You seemed extremely interested in the shepherds earlier.
Yeah, I looked at that carriage. I think those horses are Romero's.
Is that possible? I haven't seen that.
I didn't think it was either. I think his bodyguards, Lampwick's bodyguards, I think they're Romero's too. Or halfway there. I'm not going anywhere in that carriage, just so you know. And I don't think you should either.
Faith shot them and they got back up on the roof of the brig.
Okay, that corroborates it then.
Just stay away from them. I have business with them, but best to stay away.
I mean, there's some reason. I mean, let's not look at gift Romero horse in the mouth here, but like someone in command, there's some leverage that you have over them, that you're somehow important to all this. This is good. You don't need the collar. There's some reason Reeks can't just kill you.
It's impossible, and I don't understand how or why. I'm literally someone that just tried to stay away from people, but
I mean, I think I've seen a few too many movies, but maybe you have some like great destiny or something. Oh, jeez, it's never anything that good. Trust me. If they want you, it's probably to use you for something.
Yeah. Either that, or maybe it's because it's leverage with Lampwick. Since he's part of them.
Well, I mean, I couldn't have asked for this to go any better, though. I mean, we're going to get out of here, and we may have an opportunity to try to go find Blockbuster's hideout.
I'll take the Epic Destiny, though, if that's on the table. I'll take that, Kusanagi.
And if you're casting for sidekicks, like, I'm telling you, my calendar is wide open.
No, I like that. How about we do the Page Master? Do you remember that one from back when?
No, I've been trying to find it. I can't find Page Master. Someone told it about me in school when I was a kid.
No, it had the Home Alone guy in it, and it was this.
Oh yeah.
Thing. It had Christopher Lloyd, Whoopi Goldberg, Star Trek captain. Make it so.
This
Picard.
conversation is happening in front of all of you in the middle of the courtyard. Do any of you wish to do anything?
Hey guys, this is great. This conversation that's happening right here. Look, I think we should go off plan. Kusanagi, I think you're right. I think the first place we should go look and find, because you've been doing extensive research on this and trying to nail it down, is Blockbuster's hideout. There's a lot of information there about a lot of stuff, so you've said, I believe.
And I think it connects a lot of this stuff. I think he stumbled onto whatever, I mean, if it's not the shepherds doing this stuff of crucifying people outside of the other communities, if it's somebody else, I think that's the way to find out who.
I agree. So on our way to trying to make amends and finding some of these rogue Grey Ridge assholes, that's definitely a key point, is listening to what Kusanagi says, following him to Blockbusters. So if anything, it's going to be information any one of us can use no matter where we end up.
I mean, I have an idea of where it might be, but I didn't want to go alone, because Blockbuster was, God, what's the word for it? He was, I don't want to say jealous, just guarded with this information. And I think he knew how valuable it was. And I don't think there's any guarantee, even if he's gone, that it won't be somehow protected.
Smart. Checks out. That sound like a good idea to you guys?
Yep. As long as we're together. I gotta go check in with, and I kind of nod over to where my guards are.
Do they
Figure
have my
steps.
things?
They don't have it here. It's
Another
That's
time.
weird.
A figure steps up to you, Rowan. It's Inez. Ma'am, I've been assigned to your detail. She kind of casts an eye over at Achira and then back at the others. We're going to arm ourselves up. We've also got Radar, Dozer, and Omar. Of course, Faith will be going as well.
Good. Yeah, anybody, if you, those of you who do have things here, and she looks at Faith and Kusanagi, need to grab anything before we go, now's the time to do that.
I wouldn't mind a chance to fuel up myself with what you might have available.
Can I also recommend that we not go in Citadel uniforms?
Agreed. And Achira, I will, as a favor to you, extend the people with weapons around here give me a little bit of a discount for some of that. So if you need anything that you don't have, tell them Rowan sent you and said it's for her, and anything you need, hopefully you can find around here before we go.
Are we going to get some sort of vehicle or something? I mean, I know they're hard to come by, but I really don't want to go in spooky carriage.
How many
I don't know.
survival points does everybody have? Because let me tell you what, you're mechanically speaking, you're in the middle of a stronghold. So depending on how you prepare yourself for stepping out on this mission, you can walk away from this with some equipment. You can also walk away with some additional competency if you give me a solid plan on how you all are going to work together and use the resources available to you.
Well,
I've got some saved up now. And Achira thanks Rowan for the consideration. Since this is her home turf. I have 280 right now.
Mm-hmm. That's a sizable amount of survival points, and since Rowan has vouched for you, you will be considered a member of the Citadel when it comes to this arrangement, meaning that you'll be able to purchase items and goods using those survival points at a drastically discounted rate. I need to know what people are looking for. There are armories within the complex, and there are food stores. There is a couple of hangars that have vehicles within them. Tell me what you're looking for. Tell me how many survival points you have and what you'd like to bid for it, and we'll make some deals.
I am literally, since I was stripped of all of the weapons that I didn't hide and all of my belongings, I'm literally using that just to get back up to what I had before.
All right. Well, you won't need to spend that much to do that. We'll take 50 of your survival points, and we'll allow that to give you comparable equipment to what you had before. The only difference is that instead of a hand scythe, which is very specific, you have a Citadel sword, which is actually, although not as easily concealed, a better weapon. Do you still have the statistics on the Citadel swords?
I have it as a combat knife, but I still have that, yes.
It's a 3 times weapon.
Yes.
I would like to upgrade my stuff as well. You know, I've been walking around with the same spear, the sword. If there's a version of that I can use, I'd love it. And I point to Rowan. You know, there's a couple of your men that were didn't make it out alive. They're wearing some kind of armor, combat gear. I'm sure since I'm 6 feet tall and that's the size of like all the guys around here.
Allegedly.
Sure you have one around that might fit me.
The armor is a very high priority item used for the defense of the Citadel itself. It's possible to obtain sets of it, but it will be, even with the discount, 100 survival points.
I mean, I have my flak vest I got in a previous game already,
Yes.
and I have 2 other backup pistols.
You've been
Yeah,
here
you're
for
doing
some
all
time.
right.
That makes perfect sense.
I've been collecting some stuff. I don't have that many survival points though, so I mean, I have my stuff I had previously, but I'll contribute if people are putting in a pool to get a vehicle together. I can put in towards that as well.
Same.
Yeah, Achira would put survival points towards us getting out of here together quickly
Yeah, me
to
too.
go to Greywish to do that. But that whole armor for 100 points, totally on board with that.
All right. So
Yeah,
you
me
can
too.
mark off 100 if anyone who wants to spend 100. Faith, you already have a set. Rowan, if you want a set as well, both of you could spend 50. However, it will be 100 for outsiders, even though you are getting the discount. So if you choose to move with the regulation armor, you might want to repaint it. It does have Citadel markings on it.
All right. Is that an additional survival point spend to change it up?
Or time if you do it on the road. It's up to you.
How many survival points to just be able to like
10.
I'll spend that.
So
and then what I
two.
have left I'll put into a pool for a vehicle.
you have bought some enamel paint that was mixed up by some of the individuals within the Citadel. They use it for the vehicles, and they gave you some colors. I mean, you don't have a wide selection, so you can tell me what you want, and I'll tell you if it's possible.
Achira would all be about, well, her whole thing is stealth and camouflage. She normally sticks to woodland like types of things, but she also does urban. So she would just do like her jacket, black and gray.
Black and gray paint is easy enough to find, so that's not a problem. So you have all that. You are able to customize. What else are you looking for?
Well, she's already got all the stuff that she is like up to. The rest of what I have, I mean, do I need to put stuff in for food?
Yep. So if you wish to have a week's worth of dried rations, it's going to be 10 survival points a person. And if any of you wish to have additional ammunition for your weaponry, you can spend an additional 10. Now, before you do all of that, I need 250 collectively to be able to give you an ATV.
I have 25 I can kick in towards that. But I was also wondering, another thing that might be useful for us is some sort of binoculars. And you have binoculars?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And a metal detector.
Metal detector is a very specific request.
Can I make a metal detector out of
Yes.
scrap parts?
I will allow you to do that. However, for the parts for that, you'll have to do it on the road. I'm going to say you have to pay 25 survival points to be able to acquire the parts for a metal detector. And then it's going to take you probably a day or two to put it together.
Okay, so if I cash in the competence points that I have from this session that I have not spent, they're 15 apiece, right?
That's correct.
So I can get the stuff I need, and then I can contribute the stuff from those competency points for 60 towards the ATV then.
All right. So that's 60 that gets you closer to an all-terrain vehicle, a Citadel truck, effectively.
And for Alex, our community guy who's amazing and is listening to all of this, thank you.
Yeah, Alex is going to help us make sure that it's all
Yes.
statted out correctly. But so if you want the vehicle, we're 60 towards it, but I need 250 total. So tell me how that's coming from all of you.
Rowan would like to get a week of rations, some ammunition, the armor, which is 70 survival points, which leaves me with 80, which I will contribute all of those towards.
That's 140 then. We're 110 short of a vehicle.
Getting there.
So Achira is going to do 10 ration points for Kusanagi. Does Lampwick have survival points?
I do.
Okay, and
yeah.
10 for herself then. So that's minus 20 from what I have. So what I have left is 100 survival points. And I'll go ahead and put that in for the ATV.
So we are 10 away.
I can throw in the 10, and then I actually don't have the armor, or was I supposed to have the armor?
You have again. You can have it for 50, so
I see,
you
okay.
have to just spend 50 survival for that.
Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna cash in all my competency for survival points then. Yeah, so that's 10 for the car and armor.
Okay.
Can we cash in what we have right now since we're close to wrapping? And
If you
use
believe that you're safe, you may.
I'm just gonna
Don't
keep
say
on-
that, Knox.
I'm just kidding. Okay, well, I may not cash all of them, but so question: the paint that Achira got to cover up the stuff, I want to do that too. Can I go half with her on it, or do I need to?
You have to
buy
spend
that?
an additional 10 survival points. That's more for
Got it.
just the adaptation of the armor.
I'll do that too
Got
then.
Okay.
So I've got the armor, I've got the paint, I've got the rations, and I'd like to have an upgrade to. I mean, I'm looking at these Citadel swords, and I'm wondering if I can wield it, and just in terms of stats, like piercing is my forte. I don't know if that can be applied to a weapon I can access here.
The Citadel also has halberds and spears. If you
Yeah.
wish to have one of those are also the black forged steel that they use. They're like strange military combat weapons, but they use it for clearing Romeros
Nice.
typically. So if you'd like one of those are 35.
I would like one of those, please. And I can't quite think of anything else. Let me see.
Did we make the ATV vehicle?
Oh,
Yep.
I think we got
You
it.
bought it.
Okay.
I have 25 left that I can use towards that. Plus,
Well, if you spend the 25, what we'll do is that covers the removal of any markings for the Citadel and helps to add some additional survival gear and gasoline onto the back of it.
great.
It does run on biodiesel, but one of Inez pulls up. She's very good with these. You've seen this, both Rowan and Faith. She's a pretty good pilot. And so she drives out in this large, raised, old-style, broad truck. It's almost like a miniature Humvee, but it's been so kit-bashed together from all of these various vehicles off of this military base that it has parts of Jeeps and other vehicles on it, and then a roll bar across the top. And there are large containers on the side to carry fresh water. And there are removable panels on the side so that you can open them to be able to fire out from them, but also close them so that you have some shelter and protection.
That's great.
If Achira has a second, she'd love to just chat with Inez real quick. I'm more than willing to roll on this.
You can if you like. She steps out of the vehicle, which she looks at you, and then she looks back at the vehicle. God, I love these things. The Rattlers, they're great.
I was hoping on our way out, maybe we could just swing by where you tossed my hand scythe before.
Oh, yeah, about that. You might have gotten Riggs's balls, but you didn't get mine, so fuck you very much. I hope you die on this mission. And she walks past you.
Glad your leg is doing better.
Fuck you. You do think that you kind of remember where it is if you wish to have the unit stop. All right, Lampwick, just do me a favor and tell me if you're going to cash in your final competency points. Tell me, I want you to roll a spot listen.
I haven't officially cashed them in yet.
No, you have. You just told me you did, so I'm going to say you've done that.
Oh, I meant to put that as a question mark to the group.
You can bullshit Jesus in the game. You can't bullshit
Oh,
Jesus
really
outside
not.
of the
I'm
game.
really not bullshit Jesus in real life.
I would
at
like
all.
for you to make a spot listen check, please.
Oh, fuck. Okay. What have I done to myself?
1 degree of failure. So you don't hear anything at first, but you were walking towards the carriage. Is that correct?
I was going to go hand them a note.
What were you going to do when you got there?
I was going to. I mean, I'm not a fool. I know my relationship to this group. I was gonna go and speak to them, speak to my guards.
Okay, they're standing there.
I approach them and I say, "Hey, look, I hope, I believe you can understand me, and I believe you know the mission that I'm on. I'm hand them a note that I'm writing to give back to Brother Hayward, and in it, it has some information about where I'm going and why I'm not back yet. And I say to them, we're getting closer, and this mission that he's having me on is just going to take a little more time. I am going to go with them so that I can accomplish this. Are you coming with me? Are you going home? If you're going back, then give this to Brother Hayward so he knows what I'm doing.
You put the paper forward. They, of course, have said nothing. The white masks just stare at you. There's no expression, no face. You can't even see eyes. A leather-gloved hand takes the paper from you. One of the guards steps towards you. The other takes the reins of the horse and leads it and the carriage away from you. And as it pulls down towards the gate, you see a shadow moving inside of the carriage. And that is where we're going to end our session tonight.